All right, we're live. We're live, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Fresh Final Live. And tonight's discussion is going to be about the X Plus King Ghidorah, X Plus Yuji Sakai, and the Chiller Convention next weekend in New Jersey. Tonight, joining us on Fresh Final Live is Samson West.
Booyah!
Robert Doyer. Bam. Kyle Yount of Kaiju Cast.
Greetings and salutations.
John Bumpus out there in Nashville from, I always pronounce it wrong, Screon.
Is that our bit now? Are we going to do that every time?
Yeah, I do it every time. It's, I mean, we've had so many different people coming, on here, so I always like to introduce, it's kind of roll call.
No, I like it. I like you mispronouncing the website every time I come on here. It's my favorite part.
Damn it. All right, so you told me I was pronouncing it wrong. Wait, all right, so how does it go?
I believe it's spelled and pronounced Screonk.
Wait, what did I say? Screon.
Is that wrong? Is that weird? Is that out of place? How do you say it?
I thought I said Screon.
Yeah, sure. Fuck it.
You just
That's
say,
right.
Which really
sounds
that sounds just like Screon.
Man, Kyle, you're good.
I like it.
And the resident photographer of Fresh Final Live, resident photographer of G-Fest, David Dopko, out there in Seattle.
Konbawa.
Welcome.
That means good evening.
Good evening.
All right, so X Plus King Ghidorah. What I'm going to do while we're talking about this, I'm going to pull up pictures I have via iPhoto, courtesy of the Rick Boy site. But Sam, we're going to start with you. What version you getting, and what do you expect out of it? So
I'll go
take it away.
last. I'll be back in a minute.
All right, David.
see you, David.
All right, well, I will be getting the Rick Boy exclusive version of the figure because I am just that over-obsessive that if I can have something extra, I will have something extra with the figure. So, anyway, yeah, so Rick Boy exclusive version of the figure, and I have high expectations because from what I've translated with the text that comes with it, at the bottom of the page, it says that there are going to be wires that run through the neck of the figure, and the wings are going to be made out of some pretty, supreme plastic, and the figure itself is just going to be one badass piece. So, yeah, I'm excited.
But that's not the Rick Boy exclusive portion.
Oh yeah, Rick Boy part that comes with it. It comes, well, originally it was just going to be one of the saucers, just the Fire Dragon saucer, after it was revealed that it was just a saucer. But now Rick Boy has gone back on what they were going to be releasing it as and say that it's going to be two separate pieces that is going to come with the Rick Boy. It's going to be the saucer and a little Fire Dragon piece. So one that is just the saucer and one that is disguised as the Fire Dragon. And they've also said that the size of the pieces isn't going to be as big as originally said. Like the saucer was originally going to be like 6 inches in width all the way around. But now they said it's like going to be 4.5 or something, like each piece. Which I think that's kind of a decent sized little extra. It's cool. Is it worth $60 more? No, but I don't care. I'm going to get it anyway. So, yeah, that's my little 2 cents that I have to say about King Ghidorah. Totally stoked for it. The end of December, beginning of January, whenever it's coming out, it's not fair that we have to wait that long and stare at these pictures because it's an incredible piece. I can't wait to have it.
Bam.
Paul!
What's up, buddy?
Paul's in the house.
Yay!
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Fresh Meat?
Yo, yo, yo.
What are we talking about?
We just started talking about, the X Plus King Ghidorah. What we're expecting out of it.
And
It's Paul.
Samson, you guys say that you and I are the only two that are going to have a complete set of the 68 Destroy All Monsters lineup too, right?
That's right. Excuse me, I'm eating pizza. Yes, because of David's amazing talent, he was able to transform one of the Ultra Q dragons that looks like this the same thing as the Manda 63 suit. He was able to transform it into the 68 Amanda, so me and him are one of the exclusive few that are going to have the complete set. So, na.
Yeah.
Fine.
I just like David's disembodied voice saying, "Yeah,
Yeah.
suck it, internet."
All right, Robert, you
Yeah,
you're up.
I'm getting the standard. I'm excited. This is only my 6th X Plus figure this year, so I guess I'm a little behind. But no, I'm glad I was able to get it for a while. I didn't think I was gonna be able to, but
You're behind. I haven't bought anything since
No.
February.
all right, fair enough. But no, I'm
It's
excited.
false,
'Cause,
man. This sucks.
I didn't think I was gonna get it because I had some money issues earlier, but it's been worked out, so now I'm getting it.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it looks great, so I can't wait to get it. Don't know where it's gonna go, but I'll find a spot for it.
Sorry.
I heard that all the way
All
over
right,
here.
all right. Forgive it.
Yo,
In the silence.
I think it's a big delay. All right,
Jesus,
Paul,
quiet.
King Ghidorah for you. Which one?
I actually went with the standard after I saw the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup flying saucer. But
Come on.
then-
Awesome.
But then I found out there's like the effects. I don't know, the Fire Dragon that's going to be coming out.
Mhm.
I don't know. Normally I go for the Ricks, but this time it's like whatever. I really don't care. That's
Damn it, Paul, you're so cool.
You're cool.
Kyle.
Well, gentlemen and internet, I actually opted for the standard version as well,
Nice.
and that is just because of the price tag. I know that the speculation on the price was kind of already in the high marks, but I didn't actually think it was going to be as expensive as it is. And what is it's $388. The Rick Boy is essentially.
I thought it was 360 something. Maybe
No,
I'm
the Rick
translating-
Boy. The
Oh,
Rick.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Maybe I translated it wrong. Or something.
I'm fairly certain that it's 38,800 yen.
It is
Here,
because it's
I'll look
more expensive.
And it's going to be at least $100 to ship it too, at least.
God.
So
a lot of money.
that's why I decided to go with the standard and get it from Ami Ami. I honestly, I've never been a Rick Boy collector. Just like I think maybe I have like 5 or 6, and half of those are just because it was like surprise. The one I bought just happened to be the Rick Boy off of Yahoo Japan or Mandarake or something. So the only ones that I know I've bought directly from a brand new sale have been the Light Up Fin Godzilla 64 and the set of the 66 set with Godzilla and Ebirah. I think that's it pretty much as far as Rick Boy stuff goes.
All right, I'm going to be rude and interrupt you for a second. I just translated the yen. It says that the yen right now, it's 38,880 yen. Translate that into U.S. dollars, that's $363.79. So,
Okay.
Right.
the yen has gone down a bit, just a bit.
That's good though.
Yeah.
All right, I'll shut up now.
But anyway, yeah, I'm getting the standard. I'm really excited for it. I'm actually trying to figure out where I'm going to put it in my room here, but it's I'm looking forward to getting it for sure.
How deep is it? Like from the head to the tail?
Katie.
Ooh, baby.
Excellent question.
God, that was awkward. What just
It was. That
happened?
was really awkward.
You know what? Everybody's mind is in the gutter tonight, so just please, everybody watching, just beware because
Kyle, that was such a soft and gentle yet sincere answer to that bizarre
Well-
question.
I'm a soft and sincere kind of guy.
Yes, sir, you are.
Oh, God, I'm going to blow up.
That's a whole different subject.
I think. Oh, shut up. I think that I think I looked it up online. The depth of this thing from the feet to the tail, is that what we're doing, or from the heads to the tail?
Depth, yeah, it would be the depth.
Huh. Well, I'm worried about, like, the footprint. So from feet to tail, I think I looked it up, and that'll be, like, 18 inches, I think, from what I read. And that worries me because my shelves are only 16 inches deep. So,
Yeah, because it's 2 feet wide, is it not? It's 24 inches from wingtip to wingtip.
yeah.
That's big.
Yeah, and the
It's
tail
huge.
goes straight out really behind him too. So
It's beautiful, man.
yeah.
It's beautiful.
I couldn't ask for a more orgasmic figure. Well, maybe I could, but that's a different subject.
I actually almost passed on this one, to be perfectly honest.
Really?
I love Godzilla, and there are other monsters that I love, but Ghidorah actually is not in my top 5 kaiju list. And
Really? I did not know.
but that's because, like, I've only, like, in my adult life have come to really love, like, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster and Monster Zero. Like, the stuff that like, if I had to make a top 5 list of kaiju, Ghidorah would come in at maybe, like, 6 or 7, but the fact that he's so expensive and it would really just help, like, squash the hope of being, like, excited about it at first. And then the real reason why I decided to buy it, why I had to have it, was because I was like, if I don't get this, I'm going to be so pissed at myself a month later.
Because you'll never be able to get it again.
It's that whole thing
Not
where...
unless you want to pay $1,000 at G-Fest next
Yeah,
year.
no, I don't want that at all. But it's that whole thing where, like, if all of a sudden everybody starts to get something, then I go, why didn't I get that?
Yep.
That's going to happen. Like, I'm
never going to be with the cool kids.
It's less about the cool kids. It's more about the, oh man, look at all these pictures of all this. Like, the perfect example for me is the GMK, the gigantic GMK. Even though I held it in my hands, right? I was like, oh, it's so big. I already have so many GMK versions of Godzilla. Where am I going to put it? And then I didn't buy it. And then it came out, and everybody had it, and I was like, God damn it, why didn't I buy that? I totally had the inside track on how awesome that thing was, and I passed like an idiot.
This thing will hit $1,000 so fast.
Don't worry, I was one of the unlucky feuds where I couldn't afford the space or the money for it. So I'm right there with you. I feel you.
But I'm not letting that happen with Ghidorah. I'm definitely getting it, but the standard because of the price.
Yeah.
You know, Kyle, your scenario with the GK is completely opposite. Like, I was not going to get the giant burning Godzilla because I never saw it in person, and I don't give a you-know-what if everybody has it if I don't like it. You guys can all get something. If I think it sucks, I'm still not going to get it. But anyway, in Japan at the Godzilla exhibit, they had a burning Godzilla in the case, and Brandon, Kyle, and I actually saw it live before it was released. Boy, man, I was like, this thing is beautiful. So for me personally, seeing something that I've passed on, that's when I regret it. If I see it personally, like, I have to have it if I like it when I see it. So that was a deciding factor for me. But anyway.
All right, David, for the King Ghidorah, you're getting the standard, right?
I am getting the standard, and I first want to thank John Stanowski for letting me and us know that Hobby Search is not most likely going to be selling it, because I was sort of waiting to pull the trigger until they announced it on their site, because I've had great experiences with them in the past. And anyway, thanks, John, for that. I ordered it like minutes after I saw that post, and then I let Robert know too. Not going to get the space, the key lock saucer, because I kind of have a key lock saucer already. As Paul says, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. This is like a mini peanut butter cup, I guess. And I also have the Fire Dragon too. So I don't really need to spend $60.
I don't remember in the movie, did it actually have those ridges around it? I don't remember that.
It does. It's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate.
Okay. I don't watch that one that often.
But anyway, yeah, I'm getting the standard. As many of you know, I've been waiting for Ghidorah to come out for so long. Unlike Kyle, he's in my top. He's probably my second favorite kaiju after Godzilla, because my first film I saw was Monster Zero, and he was one of the first monsters. Godzilla, Rodan, and King Ghidorah were the first 3 monsters. So those are my top 3 for that reason. And my biggest fear was when they announced it and they released it that I wasn't going to love the sculpt. Because I like this monster so much, but they nailed it, man. If it looks anything like it does on the prototype photos, I'm going to be like happy as a pig and you know what. You know.
Hey, who is the sculptor for this?
You know, I don't even know. But whoever sculpted it nailed it. I mean, they really got the detail of the wings down and everything, and it's kind of cool that it's a 68 as opposed to a 64 or 65 because the attachment to the wings is a little thicker on the actual suit, so it will support the wings a lot better. But I can't wait. I'm getting the standard. I'm stoked. It's expensive, but you know, and I'm like
worth it.
somebody else. I don't know where to put it. I have no idea where I'm going to put it. So. But that's I'm stoked. I'm happy. I can't wait. I'll be back.
All right. For if anybody's out there wondering, the reason Hobby Search is not selling it is because they're worried about shipping or the size of it or something or another. I kind of find that hard to believe because Hobby Search, I don't know if there's any Metal Gear Solid fans out there, but Hobby Search was selling this giant Metal Gear Rex. Actually, we saw it in New York City at Toy Tokyo. They had it on the top shelf, and the box is huge. So Hobby Search was selling. They do sell big boxes. I just don't know why. Okay. You know, I don't know why they opted out on the Gigantic series. I mean, the boxes are not really that big, you know. So Hobby Search is not selling the King Ghidorah or the Gigantic series for that matter. So your only place to get standard Ami Ami, Hobby Link. Wait, is Hobby Link doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, Hobby Link. Big Bad Toy Store, I know, just blew up their pre-orders. I don't know how much they listed it, but I heard it was a lot.
It's a lot of money. They're overcharging for sure.
But
It's like
$550.
$550.
Ooh.
But did they reduce the shipping? Does anybody know?
Don't know.
I don't know about that.
See, I remember hearing for the Gigantic Burning Godzilla, they had the price higher at their retail price, but the shipping was significantly less than what we were paying from Japan. So I don't know. Maybe they're factoring that stuff in. So, but I don't know for sure. So the pre-order window closes, I believe, October 27th, 6 p.m. Japan time. So if you're thinking about getting it, stop lollygagging and just pull the trigger and just get it. Because, you know, in the aftermarket, like we've said before, the prices. There's actually some Chris Williams. If you're out there watching, you posted something that some eBay seller has sold 3 of them already at his ridiculous price. So to the people out there that if you're watching and you don't know where to get it, there's places to get it instead of eBay. Don't go to eBay. eBay, I would say, last possible resort.
Yep.
But you have options to save more money, get more value for your money, you know, and whatnot, than going to eBay. So
eBay.
Ridiculous. As far as King Ghidorah goes, I am super excited. David, if you can hear me real quick, I remember back when I joined the X Plus group and we first started talking and Sam introduced me and everything, Baragon was #1 on your list, the crawling Baragon.
That's right.
And then I'm almost dead certain King Ghidorah was it after Baragon's like, you know, when. So this has been a long time coming. I actually just watched Sam. Oh, he's gone. Whatever. He'll come back. I'll tell him. But I watched the review me and Sam did together here in Fresh Vinyl HQ on the 25 centimeter Rodan 64, and you know that was almost a year ago, and we're sitting here talking like, hey, X Plus, you listening? You know, when are we gonna get it? When? So, and that was after Kyle, you did your interview with X Plus in Osaka in October, November 2013, and they told you they were working on it, and their concerns were the wings. So we knew it was coming. It's just like when, So totally worth the wait because hopefully they put all the stops in it. That way, when this figure comes out, there's going to be no slouching, no sagging, no nothing, because the wings are the ABS plastic, the net's got the wires in it and whatnot. So, all good stuff. I'm going with a Rick Boy. Yeah, I think it's kind of crazy to pay like $60 for a like we've all been saying, a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. But Rick Boy, I'm going with the Rick Boy. I'll see how we feel about this key lock ship when we get it. But like everybody else, I don't know where the heck I'm going to put it. I have no room. I need more shelves. But whatever. Collector problems, right? So
Collector problems.
Yeah.
They're important problems.
Yeah.
Do that.
Hey, I don't know if we covered it already while I was gone, but did we skip John when we were asking about the Ghidorah between everybody?
Did we?
I think we did.
We're not done yet, though.
Bumpus.
Nope, we're not done yet.
Sam.
All right, John.
Bless your heart,
See, that's
Sam.
one thing
Yeah,
John's
get
good
it.
for. He pays attention to detail, so good job.
I like it.
John, take it away. X Plus King Ghidorah.
Oh man, yeah, I'm getting it. I'm getting the standard. I'm not getting the Rick Boy. I have the little Fire Dragon Iwakura mini thingy, so I'm not exactly keen on spending another $60 over it. But I'm actually getting it as my solitary one and only Christmas present, which is a wonderful trade-off for me. So it is free in a sense, I guess, but I am stoked. I turned to the my better half and was like, "Do you see this? We've all been waiting for this for like 2 years." And she was like, "How bad do you want it?" And I was like, "I love that question, but in response to this, I want it more than anything." And so she was like, "Well, here, we'll get it for Christmas." And I think I cried and peed a little bit at the same time.
I did something a little different than peeing, but yeah.
Don't do that. I am not. That whole sexual reference to figures thing is my least favorite thing that has popped up on the internet since ever. I can't stand it. It's gross. Gross.
You used to really pissed when would do that.
I am shaking my beer at you, Sam. Do not compare your genitals or sperm or anything to Godzilla ever at all. Stop it.
I wasn't talking about Godzilla now, so we're okay. So,
Okay. I was just clearing that up. I'm wagging my beer at you. Shame on you, sir.
wagging my water at you because I can't drink tonight. Water.
What you doing, David?
I'm making some dinner.
Oh, okay. Sounded like an ice machine.
Well, that was the drink to go with dinner. Sorry.
Oh, all right. Margaritas.
Everybody's having drinks.
I'm just gonna make a Manhattan slush.
Nice. Well, hey, thanks for getting me covered there, Sam. I appreciate it. I added a whole lot to that conversation, but yeah. Can't wait for King Ghidorah. I'm super excited. I have nowhere to put it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to put it on the middle of the table in my because that's the only thing that it deserves to be a centerpiece, and I literally have nowhere else to put it. Ghidorah is like up here with me because he's huge.
Oh
So
yeah, I had him too. I had to actually redo all my shelves because he was so big, and I'm so obsessed with how I do my figures. I have to put them in chronological order. That I had his spot that was designated for him. I had to like make the shelves wider apart than every other one of the shelves. Like all the other shelves are perfectly matched. They're like, I don't know, maybe 10 inches apart. Well, I had to widen the Hedgeras spot to like 16 inches so that it would fit.
Yeah, he's freaking huge, man. I was on the fence with him because I have the Marmot built-up vinyl kit that is, I think, honestly, it's a superior figure to this one. But it's
Really?
it's like 25 centimeter scale, and I was not expecting this thing to be as monumental as it is. I mean, this guy is huge, for sure. But yeah. Anyway, back to the other the Ghidorah, not the Hedorah.
All right. Quick, there's one viewer, the Black Knight 101, left a slew of questions there. He wants to know in what order our favorite Ghidorah suits they are. So, I guess the Showas, obviously, the 91, and
Are we including the Mothras?
yeah, I guess we can include those. Are we gonna include them all?
Those are hideous.
But we're not going to include like Death Ghidorah, right? You're talking about just the standard Ghidorah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I
Are we
think
talking each individual suit, like 64, 65, 68, 72, and onward? Or are we just talking Showa?
just
Heisei?
King Ghidorah. Just King, yeah.
Well, I think the best suit incarnation, was the one right in the middle, was the 65 from Monster Zero, because they got control of the heads a little bit better than the 64, and the suit is essentially the same suit. It's just a perfect suit. Now, what I said before, for a figure though, the 68 is better to make a figure because of the attachments on the wings. It's pretty much the same suit, but they scaled it back a little bit. The tails are a little bit shorter, and they have even more control on the heads for the 60. But essentially, the best Ghidorah for me is the 65 Monster Zero one. Anybody else?
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, same here. I'm a big fan of the 65. There's just something that's a little bit more superior to the way its facial features are than the 64. 65 doesn't look quite as goofy. He looks a little bit more menacing. I don't know what it is. I have to go back and watch the movies side by side again and see what it is, but there is something a little different about the 65 than the 64.
Oh man, I can't wait for you to finish that kit, David. I'm so excited.
What's that now? Oh, your Godzilla kit.
Yeah. Well, I have 65.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here he is. He's in the box. He's all cleaned and starting to get trimmed. Here he is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the Billiken?
Yeah. John's
That's the Billiken, baby. Super excited. For everyone that was watching at home that doesn't know, David is an absolute master with painting and assembling any sort of kit. So I'm very excited.
Oh, I've known that for quite some time, baby. That's why I send each and anything that I need touched up, fixed up, and just all around turn-aroundified to make it look better. I send it to David Dopko.
Nonian. I haven't done anything since my Monster Maker 28 64 Godzilla.
that came out awesome.
I
Came out, dude. That's man, so cool.
Looks amazing.
And our friend Paul's going to be getting like one of his holy grails pretty soon too. His giant.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we're all worried about where we're going to put the Ghidorah. I mean, Paul's got the biggest worry of everybody.
It'll be in the basement.
Uh-oh.
That's where it's going, in the basement. I had no room for it anywhere else.
That's where Samson puts all the trick-or-treating kids.
Yeah, you weren't here earlier, Paul, but we don't have to hash that out again. I mean,
Yeah, it's okay. I'll use my imagination.
it has something to do with a mustache and little boys.
Oh wow.
All right, just
And we are live. We are live.
Stan West is only kidding.
To all you parents out there.
You can't edit this out either.
Fresh Final's going to get some letters at that.
Yeah, the viewer count just went to 0.
Don't take candy from people with mustaches.
Hey, don't badmouth mustaches. Ain't nothing wrong with a mustache.
I have a mustache. Mine is just very small and musician-like. So
Mustache, beard. So hey now.
So Ghidorah, he's a cool-looking figure, huh?
Oh yeah.
All right, the newest, most current release, the X Plus 30 centimeter, not so 30 centimeter Yuji Sakai, Godzilla 89. It just came out. So that is, I'm gonna go with. I think it's the first of at least a few Yuji Sakai X Plus releases that we're gonna see. But the standard just got released. The Rick Boy is gonna be released at the end of the month. The Rick Boy comes with a light-up. Two of us here have it, Kyle and David. So we're going to let you guys talk about it first because you guys have it.
I'll just go since David's still making his food. So I had the 25 centimeter 89. That was one of the first X Plus figures that I got from the current set of series that they are producing. And I sold that one because Diamond was re-releasing the 1989 with their stuff, and then right as I sold it, that's when X Plus announced this guy, which is obviously Yuji Sakai's sculpt, and I mean everybody knows that Yuji Sakai is a freaking master. Like I don't have any problems with the sculpts that they've released beforehand. Like I actually really loved the one that I had from the 25 centimeter series, but this particular sculpt absolutely, without a doubt, beats the suit off of that version, and it's just so much more realistic. I'm really glad I got it. The only thing that I'm not too keen on is how freaking long the tail is. Because I have these IKEA cubby shelves behind me, and all the X Plus guys go on the top shelf. Because that's what they are, they're top shelf. And I'm gonna have to actually position him so he's like sort of sideways in order for him to fit on the shelf with the rest of the dudes. But aside from that one particular issue, I absolutely love the design of this thing.
Nice.
Nice. David, we were just talking about the Yuji Sakai.
Yep. Yeah, I got mine right here. I was initially really stoked because anything Sakai, as you guys said, is pretty much, he pretty much nails every sculpt that he does. And in some cases makes it look better than the actual suit. But I was initially stoked, and then when some people were getting shipped out their figures early, some of the pictures they were taking really weren't looking so good. So I was getting nervous then. I'm like, wow, this is not what it looked like in the prototype pictures. But then when I actually got my own, it's pretty spot on. There's a few little tiny things, as most of you guys know, I'm a real stickler for that stuff. I think the teeth are a little tiny bit too rounded, and the paint job on the teeth isn't as they weren't as careful on the teeth. They kind of just did the white all the way across instead of doing each individual tooth, which I actually already fixed. But having said that, I'm a real ridiculous stickler for that kind of thing. Like Sam is for Rick Boys, I'm a stickler for like perfection on the figure. But anyway, the scale does not bother me. It's 28 centimeters. It's just a little bit smaller. It's far superior to either of the X Plus 89 sculpts. Not that they were bad, but this looks like it just walked out of the film. The eye detail is just incredible, and maybe when you guys get your Rick Boys, they will have made the teeth a little better. They might be a little different because the fins are going to be different. And but I mean, out of like 1 through 10, I give it a strong 9, a really, really strong 9. And for me, that's saying a lot. And it's great. It's really good. So if you haven't picked this up, they're around. You can get them pretty easily. I highly recommend it because some people, if you look on some of the sites, the X Plus site, some of the fans actually posted 3 side by side, and you can definitely see that this one stands out as being the best of the bunch. So I really like it.
Nice. You said maybe they'll tweak the teeth, between the standard release and the Rick Boy. They might. Who knows? I mean, because those real quick about the gigantic Burning Godzilla. Those of us that got the Rick Boy, the flange on the tail was wide open compared to those that got the standard. They made it more plugged. So there was a discussion about it on the X Plus group that if it's being a little bit more snug with the plug. So either way, regardless, they got time to make the changes to fix the teeth. So hopefully they do. The one thing I've seen through pictures about the Yuji Sakai 89 is the teeth, they are kind of soft and smoothed out. But if you go look at any of the other 30 centimeters, like the 2003, the 2001, or the teeth are nice and sharp. So it doesn't make sense. Probably just maybe due to the molding process, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's got to be something to do with that because if you look at the prototype and you look at the actual model kit, Kyle actually showed a photograph from one of the modeling books, of the actual resin kit of this figure. Not only was it 30 centimeter, the teeth are super sharp, and it just may have not come through in the molding process, but it's still definitely worth getting, and you know, it's a great figure overall.
So I got just a quick note about the teeth. Obviously, the original release and the photos that X Plus had, those were photos of a kit of like a resin version of that, so that the details are going to be as sharp as possible. And what we're dealing with here are vinyl versions, which don't retain quite the detail that a resin kit would, but obviously you're dealing with a much lighter, much more flexible material. You know, I was looking here at my 25 centimeter GMK, comparing the teeth on that to the teeth on this Yuji Sakai, and what I have to say is that the teeth on this Godzilla, which is the 2001 version, they're rounded as well, but they're longer, and the teeth on the Yuji Sakai are shorter, so they're not as long. So I think that's maybe why they have come across as a little more blunt than people were expecting. And that, you know, I think that's probably a limitation with the actual vinyl, and you know, unless they were doing something like putting in a set of resin teeth, which I know sometimes model kits will include resin teeth with the kit instead of it actually being like all molded in vinyl. Like, I think that's probably why we're dealing with that. Plus the teeth, in addition to the teeth being shorter, there's more of them. There's like, they have the double rows.
Well, you
There's
know,
no way to show that, but
that's all true, Kyle. But they did not have rounded teeth on the giant burning Godzilla. Those teeth
that's
are
also gigantic. Like,
Right.
the scale on that is like way different.
It is, but the head is still not that big, and they were able to get the tiny teeth pretty sharp. So I just thought maybe I was expecting it more because it was a Sakai kit. It sort of stands apart from the others. That they could sort of make some kind of an allowance for it. I mean, I know it's probably not possible, but again, that's just me being like, I want it to be like perfect. So
Yeah, but I still think you could fit like the Yuji Sakai 89, the entire head of that inside the gigantic burning Godzilla's mouth.
yeah, I guess that's true. But I was just, when I saw them able to do that, I was hoping that they could just continue that process.
Yeah, I'd actually be interested to find out if the teeth in the gigantic burning Godzilla are also resin or some other hard, different material.
I think it is. I think it's a different type of plastic or different type of vinyl because of just how sharp they are. Like, I actually almost cut my finger on it. They're really sharp. Really sharp. He bit me.
So, yeah, there you go.
So who else is getting the 89? Me, you, Rich. John, are you getting it?
Nope, I'm not a big Heisei guy. Heisei, Heisei, ho ho. I'm not a big Heisei guy, so I am going to pass on this one. Also, I was thinking about it because it's such a wonderful sculpt. It really is, but I need to stick to my guns for now financially.
Are you more of a Millennium guy then?
I didn't want to go out and win. I'm a Showa guy, 100%. Yeah, you can't really see all the stuff that's behind me, but every single thing that you see is Showa oriented.
We're Showa snobs.
I'm a big Showa guy. I like a lot of the Millennium stuff. GMK is actually one of my favorite, not just favorite Godzilla movies, but one of my favorite movies. I could watch it over and over again. I love it. But as far as Heisei goes, I'm not enough into Heisei to get outside of the main 25 and 30 centimeter lines, since it's such an independent release, if that makes sense. I didn't exactly want to branch out because I've got a bunch of Diamond reissues on the way, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be getting the Ghidorah myself or if that was going to be a present.
Oh, okay. I got you. What about you, Sam? Are you getting the 89?
If only. I wish I could get the damn thing, but financially, I think that I'm going to have to stick with going with the Ghidorah as my main purchase. I know it's not coming out until December or early January, but I got to decide whether I want to eat and buy Ghidorah or if I want to not eat and get 2 really cool figures for the next 2 months. So, seeing how survival is kind of a key factor in collecting as well, I think I'm going to have to go with eating and Ghidorah. But no, I do admit that from what I've seen, the Yuji Sakai looking figure, it is superior. Like what Kyle was saying, he had the 25. I too have the 25 centimeter G89, and I used to think, man, this is like the most accurate G89 out there, because I think the 30 kind of is a little, I don't know, there's something about it, it's a little wonky. And
it's kind of got a pinhead. Yeah.
His head's fat. Wait, what did you say? Pinhead?
It's got a weird, like, it's kind of like a fat head, but then it like pins to the top. It's pointed like.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like it's like.
Yeah.
It like comes as a curve and then dink, like kind of points. Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
It's just not. It's not right.
No, it's not accurate enough. It's cool, but it's not accurate enough. I mean, David, believe me, I'm a stickler for accuracy too, which is why X Plus is my main buying system right now. So I don't do much of anything else. But yeah, I would get it if I could because it looks so damn good.
Right.
But I can't unless I like figure a way to pawn something in this room that's worth something besides this TV. I gotta have TV because Netflix is another big part of my life. So
With that being said, I
enough
actually have a pretty cool story about what the original X Plus Sakai project, what the first release was supposed to be. Was Sakai's concept, 2000 concept.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
It was supposed to be that, and they brought it to Toho, and Toho was like, nope.
Oh really?
So then the second choice was 89.
I wonder why they dissed that.
So Paul, it was going to be the model that I just did. It was going to be that.
I think it was one of those, but the concept, Sakai's concept for 2000.
That would have been, as they say, fresh.
That's strange. I wonder why they let Monster Arts do it.
I was going to say Monster Arts was able to. Why couldn't they?
Yeah.
How strange.
Strange, right? Because I think that would have been really cool. But I'm happy with the 89. I'll take it.
You know, a few of us were chatting in one of the groups about how they feel about the different eras and the different suits. It'd be really interesting if we could compile our own personal list in order of the Godzilla movies that we like from best to worst. I would just love to see where everything is on people's lists. This complete pantheon of Godzilla films. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? I don't know. I think it would be.
I think
That would be hard to do.
I know we all have our own preference of what we like, but I think a lot of us will agree with what sucks and what rules.
It'd be interesting. I really want to see where the 2014 fits on people's lists.
Low. Low.
See, the top of the list would be easy for each of us, and the bottom of the list would be easy.
The middle's hard.
The middle would be hard, I think.
That's
But it's interesting. It's an interesting thing to think about, right?
Yeah, I never even thought about that. Because usually everybody's always what's your your top five,
What's your favorite? What's your least favorite? That's it.
Yeah. Real quick about movies, John. If I could ask you a question, because you said, you're a Showa guy, and GMK is one of your favorites, of all. This is how I feel about GMK. It feels like it's the only film outside of the Showa era to feel like a Showa film. So my question to you, as far as presentation and storytelling, how do you feel about that? Is that maybe your attraction to GMK?
I think you're hitting the nail on the head without even knowing it. That movie is charming. There's plot holes in it the size of the kaiju that are in it, but it's so charming. That movie was made even though Toho stifled the original concept drastically. The team that was involved still, you can tell they loved what they were doing, and they were fans of the old films in the right way. I think that movie accomplished what was absolutely botched in Final Wars, and that they did a wonderful callback to the Showa era in all the right ways, and I think that Final Wars did that in all the wrong ways, which Toho claims, and the director, everybody that was involved, claims that was a harken back to all of the glory of the Showa era, but that, to me, is a crock of, that's bull.
Yeah.
that movie was nothing but a cash-in on every modern popular sci-fi franchise. It had nothing to do with the Showa era. And what I think that GMK and the team, Kaneko and everybody got right with that movie is that the spirit of that film, and not just the film, but the characters. They had the goofy supporting characters. They had good, solid acting in the main roles, and the story itself was mystical. And it was the word whimsical as a writer kind of irks me, but it's a whimsical movie. And another thing that I think that I love about that movie, and a lot of the other people love about that movie too, is I think it's a pretty drastic departure as far as Godzilla goes as a main kaiju, but it returns him to his roots, but it also kind of takes him in a completely new direction at the same time. And I think that it's such a strong interpretation of that character that sticks out in the middle of a series of movies that don't have a strong interpretation of Godzilla, I think is what it does for me. Because G2K was such a flashy suit, but Godzilla himself was not flashy at all. It's very boring. And I love the Kiryu movies for what they are, but I think that Godzilla, besides the design, I love Kiryu Goji, but I also think he's the least interesting thing in those movies, despite having some of the coolest scenes of him ever shot, like with the lightning hitting his spines and roaring up into the sky. I mean, there's some great shots of Godzilla in those movies, but he's pretty boring, especially if you watch GMK and one of the other Millennium series movies back to back, excluding Final Wars, because I just can't. Godzilla as a character, as a living thing, as a being, as a plot point, as everything in GMK is handled light years better and much more interesting than any of the other films that take place 10 years before or 10 years after that movie, in my opinion.
Where I kind of agree with you, but I disagree with you on Godzilla versus Megaguirus. Now, if you take Megaguirus out of the picture, okay, I don't like the Queen Megaguirus. Once that shows up, the movie goes downhill. But Godzilla has a great character in the beginning when he's in the city. He's got a great character when he fights the Meganeuron dragonflies. The concept of the black hole. You know, it's a really way out there, like 50s sci-fi, like pseudoscience kind of thing, like the Oxygen Destroyer kind of thing. And the giant.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that movie. And I mean, a lot of people hate Godzilla vs. Megaguirus because they focus on that last battle between the giant Megaguirus, which to me a Batra ripoff.
Which is so bad.
So bad. But if you take the movie before that, it's got strong characters, it's got a great story, it's got a great suit, and it's got, like, you know, of course it's got plot holes. I mean, I think every single one has plot holes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And you know, those 2014 lovers, that is full of plot holes, just so you know. But anyway, yeah, I agree with you, John. And the reason I respond so much to GMK is, you know, Kyle can attest to this, my love for Japan. I mean, it's all about Japanese mythology. It goes back to, like, you know, shrines and temples and stones, and it talks about Japanese culture, and it really showcases the people. They're going to Hakone, and they're photographing everything, but they have to get that photograph of Baragon before they run. You know, it's got a little bit of humor. But
I mean, that's very well put. That's, yeah.
It's clever humor. It's not cliche. Right. It's clever, and you know, and it's sort of puts a little bit of history in there about the, you know, souls from the wars, being angry that Japan has forgotten about, you know, the hard times and all of the sacrifices that they made. So this is the punishment. It's just a new take on it, and
it's a social commentary that you've never seen before too.
Absolutely,
right.
Absolutely. That's what I was getting at. But
which is very Showa. It's very Showa of them to put such a heavy social commentary inside the movie, which is something that really, honestly, hadn't been done, at least tastefully, since some of the Showa films. So yeah, I mean that's a good point, Kyle. That's another really big flag that harkens back to much of the better material, much of the more charming material in the series.
There's you know, very rarely do I get scared or frightened in a Godzilla film, but when the girl was in the hospital and one is lumbering past her, I felt her terror. She can't move because she's in traction, and
yeah, that was brutal.
Coming, and then and then it gives you that sigh of relief, and then, bam, spoiler,
Boom!
Paul just hits the building and she's done. But anyway, I completely agree with you on that, but I disagree with you that Megaguirus is pretty close, except for that last, third of it.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't like that movie or think you don't like that movie, rewatch it again and give it another assessment, because it's pretty clever, it's pretty well done, and the characters are good, the acting is good, the suit is great, and it's great up until that last third. So
That jump. So stupid.
Yeah.
boom.
The jump. The jump.
The jump is what kills it for me, man. I can't. The jump, I can't handle that.
Oh, you know what? That's the last third. Yeah, the jump is.
Yeah.
He doesn't even jump though. He just rises up. He just goes.
Glides.
He just goes from the ground to the sky. There's no jumping. The suit just goes this way. It's so strange.
On the very bottom of my list, somewhere towards the bottom, was Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I just watched it the other day in its entirety, and it's still pretty bad. But if you dissect it here and there, it's got some amazing shots. It's got some amazing mat work. It's got some amazing things within that film. Not enough to save it or elevate it, but I still. This is very controversial. I'll take that any day over 2014.
But see, that's what bothers me about that movie, about Space Godzilla, is that there are some incredible suits in that movie.
There are.
Incredible shots, incredible sets, incredible paintings, incredible effects, juxtaposed with some of the worst effects you've ever seen.
And music,
in
the
a
music
movie.
is pretty bad.
And it blows my mind that that represents the Heisei series for me as a whole. And that's why it doesn't appeal to me. I think that so much of it is lazy.
Just from that movie, you look at Biollante, which to me is my favorite of the Heisei. It's the one where they really
yeah, it's mine too.
And it's a little slow on some points, and there's a couple of things that I don't love, but overall it's
flawless.
It's exciting. It's great.
But that movie has the best effects out of the whole series, if we're being honest. And it was shot in '89, and that's my favorite. That movie's a lot like GMK to me. It stands alone. There was a lot of love, a lot of creativity, and a lot of unique energy poured into that movie. But the Heisei series as a whole to me is so lazy. There's 4 different monsters with the same roar. 5 if you count Mecha King Ghidorah. They all have Rodan's roar. They just either sped it up or slowed it down a bit enough to make it different, which is a crock. Some of the effects, like, how could you spend that much money on these beautiful, beautiful suits and then have a Trendmaster's toy of Mogira flying through an asteroid field? And it's just, there was so many strange decisions made.
Oh, you just really killed it with the Trendmasters reference.
I can't. It was the same era. I mean, I grew up on those films, and I am very nostalgic for the Heisei era and for the suits because I was young when they were coming out, and they were very accessible in the States because they were so wildly popular. But there's just something about them that's just so it's beam heavy, it's spammy. There's no tooth to claw. It's not the spirit of those films is so different to me than what I love about Godzilla. Which is strange.
Yeah, man. I'm not a huge Heisei guy either. It's just kind of, it's not my thing. It's just, there's a different vibe with those movies than any of the other. But like the Showa series, the transformation from Showa to Heisei, it's like, what the fuck happened?
Well, they wanted Godzilla to be taken seriously, not the puppy dog that he became in the 70s.
But we love that puppy dog. He's so cute.
Well, that was
in all fairness to them, a lot of the fans, some of the new fans, or the people who don't have access to the bootlegs or the DVDs, don't watch the dubbed versions because they make it like they bring it down so many pegs because every once in a while like Movieplex or whatever shows the Heisei series, the English dubs, and I can't even stand to listen. Turn the sound off because it's just the dubbing is horrific.
Yeah, I only have those. I can't remember who made it. Was it? Shit, I don't know. I have the double pack of Godzilla versus Mothra, Battle for Earth, and then Godzilla versus King Ghidorah.
Sony.
I have that double pack, and then the double pack of Space Godzilla and Destroyer.
Terrifying.
All right.
I just think 84 too needs to get a little bit more love if we're talking about Heisei films. I mean, 84 is fantastic in my opinion.
To me, that I don't even count that movie. So you're true. That's 100%. I think when I'm talking about it, I'm talking about what everybody refers to as the versus films. So everything that's Godzilla versus all the 90s movies. But 1984
84 and 89, I think, were just
84 is a superb movie. I'm with you on that. That's one of those films. It's towards like the bottom of the list of films that I would recommend to outside fans, but that is one of the ones that I would recommend to somebody who's not a Godzilla fan, if that makes sense.
Very
I think
very dark movie.
1984 is fantastic. If they would have carried that and the spirit of that movie and
89.
G versus Bio 89, right? I think if they would have stayed with that, with that, jeez, too many beers. I can't. What words?
I think the problem that I have with the Heisei era is that they aren't as original as they should be. There's so many things in those films that are trying to like rip off American films, and that honestly just like seeing the Indiana Jones stuff. Like any kind of thing like that. Like Godzilla vs. Destroyer has like so many like rip-off moments from Aliens. It just automatically makes my brain go, why? Why do you got to do that?
You don't need to.
Put that crap out, and like, you know, the movie would be fine on its own. But it's almost like getting punched in the brain when you see that kind of thing, and it really hurts the actual like legitimacy of those movies.
Right, it's
film.
Yeah, it's lazy. Just like that's. I think you just exemplified and personified what everybody was saying in a very tangible manner. I mean, it's lazy. Like you're saying, it's not original content. They couldn't even come up with an original roar for half of the new monsters that they gave. You know, they retreaded old ones and I think that's very representative of what you're saying. That instead of coming up with new plot points or new action scenes, they were like, "Hey, everybody liked that one scene in that American film. Let's just copy that." And that, I think that's just the spirit of all of those versus movies after Biollante, which was Biollante. God, it's such a unique, creative film, even down to the score that most people don't like. But
I love that score.
I love that score. I love it.
That score, I didn't like it at first, and you know, even though the score is not probably my all-time favorite, they do have some nods to some Ifukube themes in there. They do. They have a couple of marches and they have the Godzilla theme. So they can do some experimenting with the score if they give us a little nod to, you know, we get to hear Godzilla theme at least once or twice. So that's, to me, that is like really trying to please everybody, getting creative and actually paying homage to, you know, what is awesome and what people do love. And I think that my favorite Godzilla films are the ones where it's just Godzilla. Godzilla versus, you know, just Godzilla. That's why I was so disappointed in the new one.
Yeah.
I thought that should have been just Godzilla, terrifying monster created to, you know, just focus on him being a villain and not a hero, not a force of nature, just a villain, you know. And like the 54 and the 84 both did that very successfully, and
yeah, definitely.
I just think that formula is just a really winning formula for Godzilla, who is, you know, supposed to be a scary monster, and you know, he didn't seem that scary in a lot of the films either. I mean, he was pretty scary in 84. You know, there were some scary scenes in 84, and the scene on the ship with the giant louses, whatever they're called.
Yeah, big sea louse.
Yeah, they were that was pretty scary in there. And then him rising up from the island. You know, that kind of stuff is pretty good. It's pretty awesome.
It's so funny to me. I love listening to all the things that we've just mentioned about all these Godzilla movies that we love, and then you think about it in reference to Kaneko's Heisei Gamera trilogy, and all of those elements are present in spades. Because those are such good films. I know that's not what we're talking about at all, but I love listening to all these little points we're all making. It's just like, damn, that's like, we just literally described everything about the three Heisei Gamera movies, and that's why they're so freaking great. Especially
the movies are probably the best kaiju movies ever made. well, at least after 1975, easily.
I would agree with you on that. I think 1954 is a classic that can't be messed with. But outside of that, I think you're 100% right. I think that I'm about to say the same thing that I just said, so I'm going to stop talking. That's what I think. Yeah.
Well, basically, what I liked about the Gamera films is what I thought was missing from almost every Godzilla film, especially in the Millennium series. They have soul. You know, the people who made those Gamera films obviously love those films. You feel like you're part of those movies. You feel like you're part of the story. Whereas, you know, I watch Godzilla vs. Megaguirus or Kiru or SOS and like whatever. To me, they're soulless retreads.
Right.
That's pretty hard.
If they were never made, I wouldn't miss them. Whereas the Gamera films, I would feel empty if I had like known they existed but could never see them. Because when you see them, they're so good.
And I think there's a brutality to the Heisei Gamera films that I think is also absent from the Heisei movies. You know what I mean? Mm.
Yeah, it's visceral. It's real. It's very hand to hand. There's blood. There's contact. There's action. It's not like beam spamming. It's not high fantasy like drawn in weirdness. I mean, it's two monsters beating the shit out of each other and destroying an entire city.
Every time.
Every time.
But the scores are not memorable to me, and the action.
I disagree.
I disagree.
And the action is few and far between. I get bored in some of those Gamera films. I gotta say.
Yeah, I disagree about the score.
Boys Me to Tears. So and everyone just loved that.
I'll take a Godzilla film over a Gamera film any day.
What did you say, Kyle? What do you think about the films, Kyle?
Oh, the Gamera series? Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I freaking love them. I mean, I don't need to spend like a long time talking about it, but basically, I heard a lot of people talking about the '95 film Gamera Guardian of the Universe, and then when I saw it, I was like, wow, this was really good. Like, because I was used to Gamera being the friend of all children in the '60s and '70s, but then when Legion came out, my mind was thoroughly blown, and sure, that movie suffers from a little bit of the I bet you didn't know I had this power at the end of the fight. I mean, I think Gamera versus Legion, or whatever you want to call that film, the second, the Gamera series, is really, 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 really good. Like in my top 5 kaiju films of all time. And then Gamera 3, to me, it was very memorable because it was the first kaiju film I ever saw in the theater. I got to see it when I was at G-Fest in 1999. But like the design of Gamera, the design of Iris, everything in that movie was really, really good as well. But the things I don't like about the film are just negligible, and it's almost like it's really difficult for me to pick between Gamera 2 and Gamera 3 which one I like better. But I mean, the Gamera series, that trilogy, I really do think those are some of the best. There's definitely some of the best kaiju movements ever. And
I need to watch them again because I was underwhelmed by the movie as a whole. Like you were saying, the points that you were pointing out, I love the brutality of it. I love the smaller scale. I love, many, many things about it. But I can't put my finger on it, but there was something missing for me from those films as opposed to Toho. I don't know.
And I think they even did better work on the miniatures too. I think they had way more care given to that.
But I think that there was I seriously have to sit my ass down and rewatch all of them again. Like
yeah, I do too because I don't remember watching them, but I know I did. I watched one of them with Rich through FaceTime while I was drinking beer, and then I watched another one at Rich's house when I went and visited him while I was drinking beer. So I've seen 1 and 3, but I don't remember.
Watch them again sober.
And you like the score. If you think the score is good.
I think the score is really good.
Really
I haven't seen 2. Wait, Rich, did we watch 2? Holy crap.
You know what?
I promise I'm going to sit my ass down and watch them, and then we'll talk again. I honestly haven't seen them since they came out.
To me, the
Do
three
it.
Gamera films are, if I was going to introduce someone who is skeptical about the genre to the genre, I'm going to use the Gamera films
Nice.
because everyone I've showed them to, even if they hated the Godzilla films or thought they were cheesy or had rubber monsters or terrible dubbing or whatever, you show them the Gamera films, they're like, wow. Everyone I've ever shown. I mean, to me they're that good because they treat their subject material with respect and they don't insult the audience.
No.
Honestly, yeah, that's very true. That speaks to Kaneko, honestly, because that, for me, that's GMK. If I'm going to introduce somebody to Godzilla movies, I'm going to show them the first one or GMK. Those are the two choices. And those will be the first ones that I expose them to.
That's the first movie I showed to my wife, GMK.
GMK, that's the first one I showed to Brandy. I'm right there with you. And
Yeah,
she
that's the first thing I showed to Lady Kyle too.
Nice.
See? There you go. Wow, straight across the board.
It wasn't the first movie he saw, but he usually doesn't pay any attention, like he's doing something else when I have them on. He sat and watched the whole thing and paid the fuck attention to it.
Nice.
So I knew that he liked it because usually when he's doing something or doing that, and then he'll look up once in a blue moon and or he falls asleep. But when GMK was on, he was like this.
Good.
That's awesome.
No,
The
but-
funny thing is, I tried to watch Gamera the Brave with my girlfriend and with my best friend, and I'm pretty sure that all three of us fell asleep during that movie. So
I
that's
didn't think it was bad, but I didn't think it was good either.
it's not bad. It's cute, but that's not why I watch these films. I don't want to be adored. You know, It was okay. Zetus was cool. He was pretty brutal.
Yeah, that was a
but-
kick-ass monster, and it's a shame that there aren't more representations in figure form that are not expensive
Yeah.
as hell of that thing.
That's true. It was pretty crazy to see him. I mean, legitimately eating people. I mean,
He
you
was
don't see
eating
him
people, man. He was like, you don't see kaiju do that very often.
ever. Yeah. So that movie is kind of a miss. But David, if you want to go back and watch those, they're like $5 a piece on Blu-ray right now. If you want to pick up the Heisei Gamma films.
I'm going to totally give them another chance because this is all coming from the first time I saw them, and I didn't really see them a second time. I watched them once. And
Watch them again.
I don't know what the disconnect was, but I did not. I found like a lot of gaps in between the action, and I did love the action, and I love the brutality of it, and I love the smaller scale and the attention to detail. But there was some component that was missing at the time. So I'm wondering if it's different now than I see it as a more evolved fan. So
David, let me warn you before you watch it. The very first of Gamera Guardian of the Universe, that first in the trilogy, does not hold up as well as the other two. So,
Okay.
but the cool thing, what I will say about it is that you're almost immediately alerted to the fact that this is a standard kaiju film because Kaneko brought in a lot of the tropes that you see in the actual kaiju films. There's a dude who says like, "Oh boy, this nuclear material we're carrying could kill millions of people. I sure hope we don't run aground." And then the next thing you know, they run aground. But, it's like, that's what I'm saying, though, is like the first movie, it sort of establishes itself as a kaiju film. It's showing that Kaneko has respect for the subject matter, and it's when you get to the second film and then the third film that they start really expanding on the concise, oh my God, what is the word? John, your brain farts have entered my space. The continuity. There you go. The continuity that Kaneko has established is actually apparent throughout all three films, and each one builds on itself. I would.
all right, I'll do it. I'll actually, maybe I'll do that. Are they on demand?
I don't
Buy
know.
I don't know. I've
the
had them
Blu-rays-
on Blu-ray
the
and DVD
Blu-rays.
for so long.
They're literally, the Blu-rays are like $5.
I will give them another go because the first time was not really, and I like I said, I liked the suit. Like I loved the last suit. The Gamera looked the best in the last film. The Gamera.
Yeah, the 99.
I
I'm
like.
partial to the 96. I
Me
think
too.
that Gamera 2 is the best interpretation of Gamera ever put on film.
Right on,
But
John.
David, if you like all the classic horror movies and everything like that, that's in Gamera 2 and 3 in spades. Honestly, those are the only two kaiju movies that, besides the original 1954 Godzilla, that have had me in genuine suspense and actually caught me off guard. There's some really interesting stuff. I don't know if you remember it from watching the first one, but there's some really striking visual imagery and
Subway
suspenseful
train.
stuff. The subway scene in Legion, 100%, and the corpses in Iris after they're sucked dry is pretty intense.
Right.
Like it'll if you're not expecting it when you go back and watch them, so you probably won't be expecting it. But I mean,
I honestly don't remember much about him. I remember the scene of the Gauss Gamera fighting Gauss over Shinjuku, and they falling the fire falling down into the subway station.
Well, from everything else that you've said too, with your love of Japanese culture and of the mysticism and everything that's present in those three films, tenfold as compared to most Godzilla movies. The mana,
I don't know
everything.
I'm thinking or what my deal is, but I will go back and I will keep the words. But
maybe you were reading G-Fan at the time and you were getting that negativity from that magazine.
No, you know I'm not the biggest G-Fan. I'm not an avid G-Fan reader, so that's probably not the case.
I'm just saying, we're talking about like almost 20 years ago, so who knows? Who knows where your brain was at the time?
God, that's right. Oh my God, 20 years ago.
Almost 20 years ago.
Almost.
Holy shit.
Next year.
I was still in New York at the time, I think. Yeah.
I was 3.
Shut up, Samson.
Yeah, shut up, Samson. Yeah, 3.
Oh God. Yeah, next year will be the 20th anniversary of the first Heisei Gamera film.
And the 60th anniversary, or the 50th anniversary of the original Gamera film.
Of the original. That's right.
Well, you know what? You were saying that you guys were saying the reason that you're not fans of the Heisei because the Space Godzilla epitomizes it for you as being piss poor, right? I think John, you said that, right?
Oh yeah.
So for me, Gamera versus Ghidorah and Super Monster epitomize that whole scenario for me as being piss poor and terrible. Like I hate Showa Gamera except for the original is okay, and I like Gamera versus Baragon okay. The rest of them I think they're throwaway idiots that are garbage.
Well, the ones you mentioned, David, Gamera, Super Monster, and Gamera vs. Ghidorah, those were the last Gamera films from the Showa era. I mean, the reason that they suck so bad is because budgets were terrible, and I mean they were limping along.
It was basically just flashbacks, right? Wasn't Super Monster just flashbacks?
Super Monster was, yeah. Super Monster was literally Daiei's last attempt at trying to get some money. And, I mean, Daiei as a company was absolutely going down the tubes. I mean, just like the rest of the film industry in Japan. Like, the 1970s tanked.
But that's, in my mind, as the epitome of what Gamera's all about. I know. But it's hard to get it down my head because, friend of the children, really bad special effects. Like, I'd much rather watch Ultraman than Gamera any day. But I mean, the only one that I really like is Gamera versus Baragon, and that's super slow in a lot of points too. But
that's a fun one.
I'll go back and we'll rehash this again.
I like it.
All right. So David's going to go watch the Gamera films again. Very good. All right.
Hey, maybe I'll watch them at Paul's.
Yay.
Let's watch them together. At least one.
Deal.
All right, that's a deal.
Turn that volume up, man. Paul, crank the sound and watch it on a big screen.
We got surround, man. It's going to be great.
All right. And then at Schiller, those of you at Schiller will be able to tell you about it.
Segway.
I didn't even do that on purpose. Segue.
All right.
What's happening next week, guys?
That's right. Speaking of Chiller Theater Convention. That's how it's. I don't even know. It's my first Chiller. But Chiller Theater next weekend. Pretty big weekend for Chiller, but also for Godzilla fans that are going. The convention's held in Parsippany, New Jersey. If I'm not pronouncing that right, I'm from Jersey. I don't know.
It is Parsippany.
Yeah, but all 3 suit actors are going to be there. Haru Nakajima, Kenichiro Satsuma, and Tomatsu Kitagawa. All three are going to be there together for the first time outside of Japan together. Real quick, there was a different suit actor who did GMK, so he's never mentioned, but
Those are the big three.
Yep, big three, the big 3G. It's going to be awesome. This was, I've met all three at different points of my life. I met Haru Nakajima and Ken Satsuma in 1997 at VCon 97 in New York City.
I wish I was that one.
I was a little running around my buddy Dave. Yeah, hey, Dave too. But I got a pin to get autographed. And then Kitagawa I met last year at G-Fest 20, and he's really great. You know, he really loves the fandom. You know, the attention that we give him. You know, and how gracious we are. You know, for when he was at G-Fest. So it's going to be awesome. It's a horror convention, aside from the matter. So there's going to be there's going to be more than half of us here are going to be there, and a couple others that are not on right now. So it's going to be like a little mini G-Fest in October, so it's going to be pretty kick-ass. So,
yeah, it's going to be cool.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Be good.
Faux show. Yeah, I wish I could be there, but I won't be there this year.
Be there.
I wish I could be too.
David's flying out from Seattle. Paul, you were only, about half hour, 40 minutes from there?
Yeah.
So unfair.
I'm coming down from Boston.
Vince is coming up from Maryland.
Vince is coming up. John Stanowski of Kaiju Addicts, he's going to make it up.
He's going to drive.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but you took it right out of my mouth, but he's going to try to get up
Road
there.
Warrior. He's going to do it. I have faith in John.
You can do it, John Stanowski.
He's going to roll in with a tank, and he's like, I just crossed the freaking highway. I just went straight.
You guys haven't seen the Flosty's tank? It's got a heart on the side.
Here's the camera too.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, empty cup.
It was water.
Empty cup. Well, that was my original plan, was to join you guys up there, but it's going to be an expensive flight from Nashville, so
yeah,
I had to
it's
pass.
too bad.
One of our friends that does a lot for fandom and with the fandom for cons and stuff like that, Dell.
Dell, yep.
Dell is, I'm shipping him stuff to the hotel, and he's going to get it signed for me, so just to say in front of, all the people and their gods, thanks, Dell. I appreciate it.
He always does nice stuff like that.
He's a good man. He is a wonderful, wonderful friend and
he's a good human being.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So people that are going.
Yeah. I'm sorry, John. What were you saying? I cut you off.
No, that's okay. I was trying to pass it back to everybody else that's actually going, so you guys can talk about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if anybody's watching, look out for the Fresh Vinyl crew. We're gonna be running amok at Chiller. So. I don't know what we're going to be doing, actually. Sorry. So, anyway.
Yeah, Chiller is, the Godzilla suit actors is going to be pretty great, but I'm looking forward to the other stuff too. Like I said before, I love Hammer Horror and Universal Horror stuff. So, and it's right around Halloween, so it should be perfectly creepy and interesting things. And there's a really long list of guests that are going to be
like
Linda Hamilton, Michael Biehn, Doug Bradley.
Yeah, the Terminator crew, Terminator 2.
The surviving members of Good Times.
Wow, yeah, that's great.
A couple people from Happy Days. Shirley from Laverne and Shirley's going to be there. I mean, come on now.
Okay.
I didn't even really give the guest list. I can't remember. I know the Terminator 2 people are going to be there. Like you said, Linda Hamilton.
Sarah Connor.
There's going to be a couple actors from Aliens. I do know one specifically because I'm a Saw fan. I don't know his name.
You told me this. Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah. What was his real name? Gorman.
Oh, I know it's Drake.
What?
The guy who played Drake with the smart gun who gets the acid on his face, right?
I was talking about Gorman, the asshole lieutenant.
Oh, Gorman.
Gorman. He was also in Saw 6 as Special Agent Erickson, so that's how I know him most because I'm a Saw fan.
And
So-
Hellraiser 2.
Was he in Hellraiser 2?
Part 2, yeah. He was a doctor.
Who was in Hellraiser 2?
He was a doctor in the hospital where the girl was being held.
Oh, he was Dr. Chenard?
No, he was Dr. Chenard's assistant.
Oh, okay, cool. Right on. I love Hellraiser. That's one of my... Love
Yeah.
that.
Me too.
Me too. But it's going to be good. We'll see some of that. We'll see some Scream Queens are going to be there. And
It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a really good time.
it's going to be a really good time. And
Did you guys all get early passes, David and Paul?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I'm still but I still haven't gotten my ticket yet. I'm getting a little nervous.
Wait, you haven't gotten it yet? You should...
But I got it after everybody else.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I was the
Oh, you
last.
got
I think I was the last one to get it. So
I got mine
I got mine Thursday.
if I don't get it Monday, I'm gonna reach out because I see in my PayPal they took out the money. So
You know, honestly, you should be on a list anyway, even if you don't have your physical ticket. It should be on the computer, so...
I'm not worried.
Yeah, just bring your PayPal receipt. You know that they deducted your money. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
So the show starts Friday, limited hours on Friday. I'm not sure the hours, and then all day Saturday, all day Sunday from I think 9 to what 7, 6 or 7 at night or something like that.
7, I think.
You going on Friday, Rich, too, or no?
No. Me and Jess we're driving down Friday night after work. After Jess gets out of work, so we'll be at the hotel we're staying at probably late. So Friday's gonna be a dead day anyways. But Saturday early pass, early up, be ready to rock.
Cool. Yeah, I used to go to Chiller back when I lived in New York City. Take the bus from Port Authority all the way to East Rutherford. So I did like the reverse commute, and I remember my first Chiller. I picked up a Red King Billiken built-up model for $15. This is before I knew what Billiken was. I was like, this is a nice, cool, big figure. I remember this monster. This is before I started getting into it. So I just grabbed it. $15. I still have it downstairs.
Something tells me you won't be paying $15 for such an awesome kid anymore.
For anything.
So yeah.
No, and you're absolutely right. And it's been discovered. And there's going to be, I'm looking for unique and interesting things that you don't see everywhere else. But I'm sure there'll be a lot of Godzilla-related merchandise there too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I'm not.
Again,
you guys know. Sorry. But David, you were saying Godzilla merchandise. Greg Ghidorah of Exian Toys, he sets up at G-Fest, so he's going to have a table at Chiller selling Godzilla merchandise, so that's definitely going to be there.
They used to do Marmot definitely, at least during the Vinyl Paradise lines, they did Chiller exclusives for a long time. And
Really?
It's been a while since they've done anything like that.
Yeah, they had a Corgo and M1 stuff that they did exclusively for Chiller too back in the day.
Yeah. There used to be a lot of legitimate Chiller exclusives straight from Toho collaborations, but it's been a while. I mean, that was back in the heyday in the 90s, so I doubt we'll see anything to that aspect, but there should be the usual con stuff there.
Nice.
So it's going to be fun. There's the 3 suit actors, Nakajima, Satsuma, and Kitagawa. They will be doing autographs, so...
Don't forget to talk about
Nishikawa's going to be there.
Nishikawa.
Yeah, what's his... He was an artist.
Shinji Nishikawa.
Nishikawa. Yeah, I can't pinpoint. What art
Basically, Nishikawa was one of the production artists working on the Godzilla series in the Heisei era and the Millennium era. He, in addition to that, I am totally going off the top of my head here, so I hope I'm not saying anything wrong, but there's a magazine or a manga that he did, and you guys know what Super Deformed or Chibi is, right?
Yeah.
He did a ton of Godzilla characters in the Chibi format, and he actually, I think you could almost say like he is the guy when it comes to the Chibi Godzilla style. Obviously, he didn't do everything that they've done, but that guy, I saw him whip out a Chibi Godzilla drawing in like no time at all. It's awesome. He's really, really talented.
He's designed a lot of the kaiju that we love. He was responsible for the direct designs of many of the suits from the Heisei and Millennium series that we see on film. So he's a big deal in the fandom. He's one of those. I mean, it's just like going to a Comic-Con. People dressed up as Deadpool will walk straight past the actual artist that created Deadpool and not give a shit. You know, like they don't ever get enough attention that they need. But he's directly responsible for a lot of stuff that is sitting on our shelves right now. So he's an incredibly talented man. So that's going to be just as cool. That's what Dell was saying. He was like, man, you should send me a fourth figure just to get him to sign it because, I mean, it's a pretty good opportunity for him to get some
I know if you
autograph
pay
out
like
as well.
a couple $100, he'll do like a huge, big painting
Nice.
or a big drawing. So,
That's awesome.
I don't know if we
Hey,
can do
so
that.
Dell said it was like Dell said it was only about $50 for and he'll sit there and he'll do a sketch of your choice for you.
No, it's
Yeah,
cool.
he'll have at Son of Monster Palooza. He had like a little sketchbook, and
Cool.
I'm holding my fingers up just so nobody thinks that they're gonna get like a 11 by 14 piece if they pay $50. But
Right.
dude, I mean seriously, the guy is really talented. I think Dell said that at Son of Monster Palooza, he was basically sketching all weekend long.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
Cool. Well, good for him.
All right, Chiller is going to be pretty awesome, and also part of being billed as a guest along with the Godzilla suit actors and the artist we were just talking about that I forget his name already. Bob Eggleton's also going to be there. And Bob Eggleton is well known throughout for his Godzilla art. He's done tons of art for Godzilla via GFan. Paintings, comic books, whatever. So he's going to be there too.
Yeah, he's awesome, man.
Yep. Bob's a great guy.
Very
He's a
down
good friend to a lot of us. I've actually got an exclusive interview coming up with him on Screonk.com, so
Nice.
make sure to get that out there for everybody to see. But he's he's all over the place. He's fantasy, sci-fi, the Kaiju Ega fandom, everything. But he's a big G nerd just like us. Kaiju Ega is his home, so it'll be really cool to have him at another con.
So there's yet another option for people to get signatures of the three. We will have most likely beautiful depictions of each era suit. So you'd be able to probably get something from him as well.
I know what I'm getting signed by Bob.
Right?
Yeah, I know what I'm getting.
You already know what you're getting?
The Dark Horse comic, the final Dark Horse comic that he wrote and illustrated.
Nice.
That I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get him to sign that.
Issue 16.
Yeah.
That's the
That
one
one.
you're talking about, right, Paul?
Yeah. Where that space monster comes down or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that is that's a great comic.
He wakes up with the tail in his hand. God, that was great. It was awesome.
So you guys, we were talking about Nishikawa a couple minutes ago. So this is the I don't know what you call this. It says special graphics Godzilla vs. Mothra book, and in this MOOC as it is, this entire 2-page spread was done by Nishikawa, and it's rad. That's Godzilla fighting Atragon from
So cool.
1992.
So cool.
So there you
Nice.
go. Nishikawa's been around for a while. He's a badass.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Just a little,
Does anybody want to talk about anything else? If not, we're going to wrap this show up.
Wrap it up.
I think we're going to wrap
That's
Good. I think
a good point.
I think we've pretty much covered everything that we wanted to talk about.
All right. So I will say next Fresh Vinyl Live will be mid-November. The rest of us,
Or from Chiller live.
oh man, how can we do that?
I don't know.
No, yeah, imagine it could be done. But next Fresh Vinyl Live will be mid-November. Those of us that are waiting on the Rick Boy 89 will have that. I'm sure we should hear some news on the last two waves that are coming out by Diamond, because there was no news at the Comic-Con as far as Diamond continuing to reissue 30cm X Plus figures. So get them while you can. And maybe we'll hear some more news about King Ghidorah by then, and maybe some more announcements via X Plus. Who knows? Until then, everybody, thank you for joining us tonight. See you guys next time, and remember, buy vinyl, Fresh Vinyl.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.